Hello friends, it is time to react to another book haul reaction from almost 2 years ago. This is my book haul from April and May of 2023. And we need to find out, do I read the books that I buy? The last 2 times I've done this, it hasn't gone that badly. I have read a lot of the books that I purchased. There was a time where that was not the case. A couple of years ago, around the time of this book haul and the previous 2, I decided to really change how I was buying books. I was buying books with a lot more intentionality in what I was going to be reading soon versus just buying books and throwing them on the shelves with really no intention of buying them. Although, of course, there were times where I did that as well. I wasn't perfect in that, which has resulted in these being not the most shameful of book hauls, but honestly, at any point, it could change and we'll see how it goes. We're going to watch it together. We're going to see if I've read the book, if I have not read the book, and whatever is not read, you will get a chance to vote on in the description box down below in which one you want me to read. The last time we did this, I actually only had 1 book unread, and honestly, I really enjoyed reading that, and I'm sad it was on my shelf for so long unread. It was really a treasure that was sitting and waiting for me to pick it up. So maybe today we will discover another shelf treasure and read that sooner rather than later, move it up the TBR. So let's dive in. I will be looking over here because that is where the reaction is going to be. That's where the video is. So if you're wondering why I'm looking kind of over there, that's why. I will put the video somewhere here on screen. It may look like even I'm looking at it. It may not. It will really depend on how editing me does things. But let's dive in and let's see what is in this book haul.
That time I've gained about 9 new books.
So I just said there's only 9 books in this haul. So no matter how it goes, it shouldn't be too bad because it's only 9 books. I must have read some of 9, right?
I picked up Hellbent by Leigh Bardugo. This is the 2nd book in...
So even in this video, I said I was going to be reading Hellbent in the month that I filmed this video, and I did. I did read Hellbent very shortly after reading Ninth House, and I adored both books. They were on my best books of the year in 2023 as a collective. I adore this series, and I am patiently waiting for a next book. Leigh Bardugo, please give me more of the Alex Stern series. Please, I need more. I need to know what happens at the end of Hellbent. And realistically, I will probably reread both books going into that release whenever it comes to us. I'm anticipating 2026, but I don't know.
This next book I actually purchased while on sprints. I had meant to buy it a sprint that I was doing earlier in the week and had forgotten at the end of sprints. So when I was on the next day, everyone reminded me and got me to purchase this. So it has arrived. This book has been doing the rounds on booktube. It only recently got released and everyone is reading it and hauling it. And I had the FOMO, so I had to get it. And that is The Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarrow. This book I know very little about.
Okay, that is too funny. Obviously, I have read Fourth Wing. I have. I did not love Fourth Wing as much as so many other people, so I have not read the rest of the series, but I did read the first book. I did. I have since unhauled my copy. I actually gave it to Crystal because I had the pretty sprayed edges and Crystal did not, so I sent it across the ocean to Australia to Crystal to enjoy and love. I will say the funniest part about this, though, is that I am filming this the day after Onyx Storm comes out. So it is kind of perfect to talk about Fourth Wing the day after everyone is just so excited about Onyx Storm.
When I went to the bookstore the other day, I kind of just went to look around, which we all know that doesn't actually happen. You have to leave with a book. And the book that I left with was Icebreaker by Hannah Grace. Had my eye on this romance.
This book haul had some of my best books in it so far. I mean, Hellbent, Ninth House, best books of the year in 2023, Icebreaker, and the entire series, best books of the year of 2024. I actually read Icebreaker not once, but twice last year because I absolutely adored it and I annotated it the second time I read it. I then read Wildfire and I have since read Daydream. I love this series. I love these hockey players. I love Maple Hills, and I definitely have read this book, well, twice. And frankly, I have gotten a few special editions since the moment of getting this book as well. So I have quite a few copies. And I love this book with my whole entire soul. So not only am I killing it on reading these books, but like the quality of books in this haul was really top tier so far.
I've been slowly picking up books for my romance collection because I'm now in my romance era and want romance books on my shelves. So I picked up Pride and Premeditation.
I have not read this book. It is upstairs, so let me just go grab it. It's on the shelves upstairs, but I do have it and I have not read it. So 1 second. So we have Pride and Premeditation by Tirzah Price. I am actually really surprised I haven't read this because it is a retelling, obviously, of Pride and Prejudice. It kind of is obvious from the title. And it was a book that I was very excited about when I bought it. It's just one of those ones that got put on the shelves and just kept getting pushed off until apparently right now. In this book, we follow a law student, Lizzie Bennet, who is going head to head in a murder case against a full-fledged lawyer, Mr. Darcy. And according to the back, it says, but as the case and her feelings for Darcy become more complicated, Lizzie discovers that her dream career could make her happy, but it might also get her killed. My one concern about this book at this point is that it is a YA romance mystery. So I don't really read a lot of YA anymore. I've definitely backed away from YA, especially in a romance setting. So I'm not sure how I'm going to feel about it now. I think I might have liked this more when I originally picked it up. And now, years later, I'm not necessarily reading YA romance as much. However, there is a mystery element. I actually don't even know how much of a romance there is in here, other than the fact that obviously it's a Pride and Prejudice retelling, so there is some romance. So that might save it if you choose to vote for this. But this is the first book that can be voted for me reading it as part of this book haul reaction.
The next book I got was Last Chance Books by Kelsey Rodkey.
I have not read Last Chance Books by Kelsey Rodkey, and unfortunately, this was on a TBR really recently, and I didn't get to it. So I was close to reading it, and then I didn't. I can't particularly remember which TBR it was on. I know it was in October, because it was either on my TBR for TBR-a-thon, or it was on my TBR for Spookopoly. I can't remember which one, and it may have been on both, honestly, because I did have some crossover in those TBRs. So it was a possibility for October, but it didn't happen. So let me grab it. It's up behind me. And this one, as with the other one, is a YA romance, which again is probably why it's still sitting on my shelves, because I have distanced myself from reading a lot of YA romances. However, this one gives me so many You've Got Mail vibes that I do love that movie so much that I have to give this a try before I unhaul it. I can't just unhaul it. Like, I can't just unhaul it unread. I gotta give it a try. In this book, we follow Madeline, and Madeline has come home to run her family's bookstore called Books and More. And it's an old family bookstore. It's a little hole-in-the-wall spot, an indie bookstore that you just want to go in and dig through. You know what we love. But then a big box store called Prologue opens up around the corner, and they are trying to kind of fight for this book business in this small area of where they live. The manager of the Prologue, Jasper, kind of plays our male protagonist in this book, and they get their dukes up to battle it out to see which bookstore will survive. Again, you can see where I got the You Got Mail vibes from this book. And I think there does have a romance that happens between them throughout the book as well. But it is a YA romance, so I am a little bit nervous. And I think it's why I didn't read it in October. And I think it's why I haven't read it in the time it's been sitting on my shelves. So maybe you all will vote for it and force me to at least try one of these YA romances and see if I can at least find out if I should keep them or unhaul them. We'll see once I read them.
There is a couple books that I had to pick up for upcoming book clubs, and the next two fall into that category. The first one being The Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lynn Barnes.
So I did say in that the next two books are for book clubs, and I picked them up for that specific reason. So if they were for book clubs, obviously I had a need to read them, and therefore I have. The first one being The Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. This I did read with B&K Book Club in 2023. I did not love this. There was just something about how it played out and the dynamics of the characters and how YA it felt that it just did not captivate me. So I never did continue with the series, but I have read it, And I haven't unhauled it, but my mom has it because she was interested in the book, so I did pass it along. But I am assuming at some point she'll read it and give it back, and probably at that point I will unhaul it. But I told her not to rush, and she's had it for a very long time. So that may be with her forever at this point. So it could be considered unhauled.
The other book I needed to pick up for book club was actually this month, May's B&K Book Club book. I did not own it yet, and that is The Atlas Six. I've had my eye on reading The Atlas Six.
I love this book too. I did read The Atlas Six for that month's B&K Book Club. I say it right in the video that I was going to read it for that month, and I did. I really enjoyed the first book. I gave it 4 stars. I have since finished the series. And actually, The Atlas Complex, which I know is universally considered not the best of books, was on my best book of the year for 2024. I love how Olivia Blake writes the book. I love how she writes Dark Academia, and I absolutely love this series, and it really does have a very special place in my heart. So this book haul, another best book of the year, not the first one, but the series was in my best books of the year. So like this is a quality book haul.
And I feel like there's no way I can try manga without reading Spy Family. So I have picked up Spy Family Volume 1.
I adore Spy Family with all my soul. I am on either Volume 8 or Volume 9 at this point. I'm quite a ways through the Spy Family series. I haven't picked one up in a very long time though, so maybe this is a time to think about doing just that. But it doesn't get on the voting because obviously I did read the first one. I just need to get back to it.
When this book came out, I knew I needed it, and it was Everyone in My Family Has Killed Someone.
I have not read Everyone in My Family Has Killed Someone, and I had the perfect opportunity last month when it was Leandra's book club book for her Patreon book club. I even pulled it off the shelf in order to read this book. I had it sitting there. I never got around to it. And the book club came and went, the live show came and went, and I went, oops, and I put it back on the shelf. I don't know if I'm going to love this. This could really go either way. It was very hit or miss with the book club from what I saw over on the Discord. Some really loved it and some really, really didn't. So I don't know how I'm going to fall with this book. I have no clue. But if you want me to actually read it, now's the time to tell me. It's gonna be up for voting. All I know is basically that everyone in this family has killed someone. Some of them have killed more than once, is what it says. I think some have done it on purpose and some have done it on an accident. I really know nothing else because the synopsis is very, very small anyway. I do think this is somewhat a satirical mystery, but I don't actually know that. I just think that. So if you've read it, maybe you can tell me if what I'm thinking is true. But this is the last book in this book haul. So out of 9 books, I have read 6, and a lot of them were best books of the year. So like, that's impressive. And I have 3 unread. So let's look at these really, really quickly, and we'll go over what you can vote for, and then we will end the video here. So we have, obviously, Everyone in My Family Has Killed Someone by Benjamin Stevenson, Last Chance Books by Kelly Rodney, and Pride and Premeditation by Tirzah Price. I think there are really obvious reasons why I haven't picked all 3 of these up in that time. 2 of them being YA, so that is why. 1 of them being a mystery thriller. And for most of 2024, I wasn't reading a ton of mystery thrillers. Prior to that, I was. And I can honestly say I might be diving back into that a bit more. I just did a mood reading vlog a couple weeks ago, and 2 of those books were thrillers, and I really had fun reading thrillers again. So maybe I will dive back into thrillers this year and mystery this year and knock off some of them that have been sitting on my shelves for quite some time. But please leave your vote down in the comment section down below. I would love to know what you think I should read, and I will make sure it gets on a TBR and read very, very soon. But thank you so much for watching me see if I read the books that I buy. You never know how it's going to go. I think this one didn't go too bad. It's a pass. Please like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps my channel so much, and it is much appreciated. I hope you have a great day. Bye, friends.